What's good, world? It's your boy, Soundoff The General. I'm back at it with another topic today, and I've been, wrestling with the idea of trying to figure out what to say. But I just figured I'd just let it flow and let it go. Here I go rhyming again, as a rapper does. You know what I'm saying? But it was interesting. I had a talk with a friend the other day, and we were working on a song. And his song made me reflect and pause for a minute because he was talking about not just putting bad music out and things going over people's heads. And it caused me to think about the idea of like appreciating where you are. You know, in my last video about gratitude, or one of my previous videos on gratitude, I talked about, being thankful for where I am musically. Because a few years ago, didn't nobody know who Soundoff The General was. Nobody listened to my music. Nobody streamed my music because there wasn't no music out. And so I could easily get upset or get frustrated when the views are down, or get frustrated when the streams are down, or get frustrated that my music is not being heard amongst the masses the way that I intended it for it to be. But I just, come to a place where I'm just trusting the process. In the process, there's ups, there's downs, there's valleys, there's peaks, there's lows, there's highs, there's times in between. And it's like, when you're going through the process, what you have to do is stay down and stay diligent. Stay the course, stay on the mark. You know what I mean? Don't be discouraged. And to that friend, keep your head up. People gonna listen. People will feel you when this time comes, and when it's your time, it's gonna be undeniable. Now, speaking about the process, that reminds me, that was my first project I dropped in 2022 with Double D Beats. When we first started making that, it wasn't even an idea of a project. At first, I asked, is it your project, my project, is it our project? And, bro was like, we'll see, you know what I'm saying? And so then we recorded 3 songs. We recorded Time to Shine, Swinging, and Switching Lanes. We first started off with Swinging, and it was just crazy because it was like the environment, way dude had his setup, was just infectious. It made you want to do music. It made you want us to create art. We smoking, he had the lights going, the music blasting. It's a cool environment where he was at the time. And so it was just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, this shit is hard. Like, this is a great studio experience, you know what I'm saying? So we get in, and we're free-flowing, we're freestyling. We're just getting on the track, just having a great time. And that just makes me want to pause for a minute. It's like, while you're on your road doing the process, you got to take time to enjoy the process. Enjoy what you're doing. Have fun with what you're doing. That's a part of, following your joy, my yacht. You know what I'm saying? Follow your heart. Follow what you're feeling led or called to do in the moment. And so we were just having fun recording that track. And so then, we did several takes, not the verses, but several inflections on the beat, several inflections on voices, and then what you heard is what you heard. You know what I'm saying? We end up doing Time to Shine next, where bro is sitting at the keyboard, and I'm like, hey man, add this, add that, you know what I'm saying, add this, add a whistle. And he's, and the one thing I can say about dude is, as a producer, he's a hell of a producer, because you could give him an idea and he'll kind of know what you're looking for and bring that to life, you know what I'm saying? And so we end up getting on Time to Shine. He spits his verse first. Then I get on my verse, and then I start doing my thing. And I started to, and I tried to re-record Time to Shine because I felt like my verse wasn't all that. So then I kind of pieced together, what I said the first time with a little bit of difference, and it ended up being hard. You know what I'm saying? What I consider to be hard. And so then we recorded Switching Lanes, and I had my nephew, or, by marriage, you know what I'm saying, I had my nephew on the track, and, he did the background vocals, and, I freestyled my verse, and at the time, bro didn't write his verse, you know what I'm saying, or didn't have his verse, and then later on, he recorded his verse, and then, you hear the magic of what he did, you know what I'm saying, in that song. So then we do Victorious, and I'm going through a depression. Now, what I didn't tell y'all is that the first 3 songs that we recorded, Time to Shine, Swinging, Switching Lanes, I'm in a manic episode process. I'm going through that phase of my life, and basically, I could give you all the definitional terms. I can tell you, everything about a manic episode, but it's still not going to make sense unless you're bipolar. I've had people accuse me of being on drugs, or accuse me of, being manipulative, or trying to get over on people, disingenuous. And the truth of the matter is, I was just manic in a different state of mind, a different state of being. I was in a different place consciously. When you're having a manic episode, you feel euphoria, you feel enthusiasm, you feel like you're on a 10 or a 15 out of 0 to 10. You're like a 15 to 20. You're feeling super good. And the best thing, way I explained it was like, being depressed or dealing with low self-esteem, because I battled that a lot in my life, is low self-esteem. And battling that, when you have that euphoria, enthusiasm, you feel like, man, you're confident, you're vibrant, you feel lively, you feel like you're the best you've ever been, things are coming together, things are clicking, things are finally magically happening for you, and so you feel great and you feel good. But the problem with that is, you sometimes come with risky decisions, risky behavior. During this time, I went and got a $60,000 car. I went and got a Dodge Scat Pack when I was making only $15 an hour. And I can laugh about it now, because it's like, thank you, Source, thank you, God, for allowing me to go through that, to allow me to know what's possible, that even though I may be going through financial hardships and financial difficulty, at the end of the day, I will be good, because Source, God, universe takes care of me. And that's something I just want to leave you with as well, is that, as you watch this video, Source, God, universe, whatever you call the higher power, that entity, that being, will take care of you, will provide for you, will look after you, will help you along your process and your journey. But, so, I'm having this episode, spending money on jewelry, you know what I'm saying, acting erratic, doing risky things. Like I said, manic episodes don't make no sense. It only makes sense to the person that's going through it. Everybody else, they see you as tripping, they see you as wigging, they see you as like you off your rocker. They don't understand why you are the way you are. And to be honest, when you're having an episode, you don't know that you're doing these things. You don't know that you're having this reaction. You don't know you're making people feel the way that they are. So, yeah, that's my spill on that. But, so, with manic episodes, there's highs, but then there's manic depression, which are the lows. And so I experienced the low, and as we're writing Victorious, I'm like, man, I can't write, it's not coming to me. We're trying to freestyle it. It's like, when you're manic, it just flows to you. You know what I'm saying? But when you're not manic, it's stagnant. It's a push and pull. It's kind of hard to find your words, especially when you're in depression. So when you listen to Victorious, that's probably the reason why it sounds the way it does. You know what I'm saying? At least on my verse. You know what I'm saying? Dude killed his verse. He, you know what I'm saying? He killed the whole album. I give him credit for that. But me on my part, it was like, you know, it just didn't come together the way I liked. But I left it that way because I wanted to, you know, appreciate what I did do. Because even in spite of the depression, I did the best that I could do in that moment. So the next song we did was Going Through. We started off with the hook on that. He started writing his verse or started crafting his verse in his head, freestyling, I think. And then we end up leaving that to the side for a while because, like I said, I was battling a depression. Well, me and dude worked together, and so eventually, he was like, "Man, you want to come back to the crib? You know, work on some stuff," and we end up doing that. And so the next song we did was Signs. And so with Signs, no, not Signs, Spaced Out. With Spaced Out, with me being in a depressed state, you know, I'm feeling the lows and the valleys, and it's just like, you know what, I just gotta get this out. Get out what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing, because right now it feels like death. It feels like a low. It feels like losses. And it felt like, you know, how am I going to recover from this? I got this car. I got these bills. My wife looking at me like, what you going to do? Because, you know what I mean, you done put yourself in a bad financial situation. You know, I got all these things going on. You know, at the time, another person to me close was you know, getting ready to go to jail, to go to prison for a little bit. And so I'm, that's on my mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with that. And so that's why my verse on Going Through, you know, sounds that way, you know what I'm saying? So we craft that, Spaced Out, craft that, you know, with the depression. He ends up freestyling his verse. And then we do Signs, and then Signs, you know, Signs was real cool because, you know, typically at that time I wasn't known for my flow changes. I would kind of just ride a beat out and just ride that thing out. You know what I'm saying? But in that one, I end up, you know, doing a little flow change, and, you know, and I talked about, you know, everything's mental. And you got to understand that, you know, in life, there's a mental war going on. And all that you have is your mind. So with that being said, you have to protect yourself. Like they say in boxing, protect yourself at all times. Protect your mental, you know what I'm saying? Self-care. You know, do some type of physical activity, eat better, you know what I'm saying? And I say all those things because those are things that I'm working on right now, and working in the process of getting in a better shape mentally, spiritually, and physically. But, you know, in my verse, I'm like, everything mental. Everything mental. Isn't that simple? Look what I've been through. I'm looking official as a rental. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, just stating that, you know, after all the adversity I've experienced, you know, things are mental. But, you know what I mean? Because if you really think about it, in life, it's not always about what's happening to you. It's about how you respond to things. And so one of the things I've recognized at this time period is, like, you know, you have to be cognizant and observant of your thoughts, because your thoughts will lead you in a particular direction. So we do that. Then comes my favorite song on the album, you know what I'm saying, Greatness. That was the only song that was not wasn't produced by Double D. I loved it because a person that struggles with low self-esteem, for me to come up with this high, vibrant, confident song They keep on asking what my name is. I reply to them that it is greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt good, and it was also at a time period where I am shifting consciously. You know, I grew up like most people in the Bible Belt in the South, a Christian. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, you know, believing in Jesus and believing that, you know, that he's my savior. You know what I'm saying? And with all of the episodes, there came a time where I shifted. And I started to believe differently, think differently, and see that the very things that people were afraid of in the church actually were good things. And they weren't bad things, and they were things that help you elevate and grow consciously. And so, you know, greatness to me is like an affirmation song. It's, you know, high vibrational. It's, you know, uplifting. It's encouraging. And when you listen to it, you know, that's exactly what the song is. Affirmations on both our parts. You know, I am great. I am gifted. This is what it looks like when you dream vivid. I'm just being honest when I say my... Anyways, I'm messing up on my own verse. But anyways, guess it wasn't meant for me to say. But anyways, yeah, man. I reflect on the process, and I like the story of it, you know, the background story, you know, what wasn't talked about, you know, before releasing it was me and bro fell out, you know what I'm saying? Which we ended up falling out again, but, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes people may not be a mix for each other, you know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, you're not for everybody. And so, with you not being for everybody, you know what I'm saying? People come in your life for a reason. They teach you some things, and then they go. And, you know, that's just a part of the process. And I got to say to you, you know, as you're, you know, we get frustrated with change. We get frustrated when people walk out of our lives, when people are no longer there, or when people have, you felt like you've been abandoned or you've been mistreated or any of those things. But it's the only thing in life that's constant is change. You know, when you came into the world, nothing was the same. And when you leave the world, nothing will be the same. As you're going through life, nothing will be the same. You have to get used to the idea that change is going to happen and it's going to occur. People are going to leave out of your life. And so, you know, that was part of the reason why the process never got released earlier, because I was like, you know, how am I going to release this? And me and bro ain't cool no more, or, you know what I mean? And, you know, issues with the mix. I ain't know who to mix it. And then I end up finding a dude that, you know, mixes and masters, you know, exceptionally well. And then put him on another boy of mine, you know what I'm saying? Put him on to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dude mixes, and for the most part, just about almost all my music that I put out has been mixed and mastered by Glass Studios. You can find them on Fiverr. Hard engineer, very good. Very, very good. A Steel. Yeah, man. So the process, in my opinion, it's a Southern classic. It's a classic in my book. You know, there will be more from the process series. I just say, you know, once again, don't get frustrated with the process. Trust the process. Embrace the process. Continue the process. You know, your life is like a journey. You're going to go through ups. You're going to go through downs. You're going to go through valleys. You're going to go through peaks. But it's all meant for you to grow and evolve and to become to a place of spiritual enlightenment. or enlightenment as a whole. Alright, man, this boy is Soundoff The General. I finally let it flow, finally let it go. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Alright, y'all. Peace.